Hello and welcome to another edition of the
Red Phoenix Gaming Podcast.
I'm your host Derek, and with me as always is the lovely,
Michelle.
and we're going to talk about some gaming news, stuff and things that happened on this 5/24/2015.
Excellent.
This is podcast 34, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, let's start out with a little guitar solo. Explosion. And of course, the lightning.
Don't forget the lightning ever.
Cannot forget the lightning.
It's really
Absolutely not.
important.
Probably the most important part of the entire podcast.
Totally.
So, unfortunately, for the first time in RFG studio history, we have to make a retraction.
We do.
Although it's not necessarily a retraction, but it's kind of okay, so I'll explain it. Windows 10 is not a free upgrade for pirates.
Oh.
Now, when we first came out and said that Windows 10 was going to be a free upgrade for everybody who had Windows 7, initially the quote from Microsoft was that it doesn't matter what you have, how you have it, whatever the case may be, Windows 10 is going to be on is going to be offered to anyone who has Windows 7, Windows 8, etc. Now they've come out and said it will not apply to non-genuine Windows devices. However, they're going to be doing incentives and a bunch of other things to allow people to get legitimate copies of Windows 10.
Like
So-
discounts, probably.
Yeah, they'll probably do like if they do anything like Mac does, I think it's like $20 after they're off the market for their operating systems.
Mhm.
I believe, and I could be wrong, when I upgraded from Snow Leopard to Mavericks, it was free. But if I wanted anything in between, it was like $10 or $20, something super, super cheap.
Small charge, yeah.
Exactly. And I have a feeling that Microsoft will do the same thing, only because right now it's like $100 for an operating system. So if they charge you $20 for it, people who don't have it will say, I might as well get it just for legitimacy.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. I would.
I mean, if it's a fifth of the price, you might as well.
Absolutely.
And you can update, you can do all that fun stuff. You don't have to worry about having that little thing in the bottom right-hand corner that says, this Windows is not genuine.
You're not genuine at all. Windows.
Oh, I thought that was pointed towards me. I was
No,
like,
not you.
geez.
Just talking about Windows.
So, Michelle, for my first real topic that I wanted to talk to you about, your favorite topic ever,
Oh, virtual reality.
you knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming. It has to be. That's my most favorite thing.
Your most favorite thing.
Yeah.
She's crying.
I
It's
am hurt.
satire, sarcasm.
Yeah.
So let's do a nice refresher course for everyone who doesn't know anything about virtual reality. There are, is it 3 main players now?
3 main people: Oculus Rift,
Right?
Morpheus,
Which is PlayStation or Sony's thing of it,
correct, that's Sony's, and then Vive VR.
and the Vive, was that Valve? Is that who's doing that, or like HTC?
It's Valve.
Yeah, and these are actual virtual reality though. It's not the augmented reality like the HoloLens that we've seen or the Google
Correct.
Glass or anything like that,
This
right?
is basically put something that covers your eyes
Mm-hmm.
and or it's like a helmet. And you put it on your face and you play your games that way.
So, for the pros and cons of each one of these things, or we'll just start at release date. So the first one that's going to come out is going to be the Vive, right? And that's coming out holiday 2015. At least it's slated to right now. It could get pushed
Allegedly.
back.
Right.
Which I believe that's going to be both a good and a bad thing. It's going to be good because they'll hit the first part of the market. It's going to be bad because I think they're going to
Bugs.
see the ones. Yeah, they're going to be the ones with all the bugs.
Yeah.
Uh,
But good for them at holiday time. People get that for Christmas.
Yeah, the next one looks like Oculus Rift is going to be coming out. It's slated for quarter 1. Project Morpheus is first half of 2016. So we'll just go that. I mean, first half is still quarter 1, so they could push it out as early as January. Who knows? But the way it looks right now, Rift will come out, then Project Morpheus. So it looks like PlayStation will be the last one to the party, and Oculus Rift is the one. Is that the one that Facebook bought out? I think purchased by
Yes,
Facebook like last March, right?
correct.
So I mean, these virtual reality helmets they're becoming a reality.
Oh, no pun intended.
Really, no pun intended. But with them getting closer and closer, are we going to see? I mean, we have to see something of any of this, uh, this next E3, right?
They have to. You have to put something out to get people pumped up. Because all we're seeing right now is like, the developers' kits.
Right.
And, you can go on YouTube and Google anything like Oculus Rift and you can watch people playing with it. But if they want consumers to get really excited about it and really think about buying it instead of just thinking, oh, this is something that's going to come out in the future, they have to show it at E3.
Yeah, and see the thing for me here, is that we're going to be able to see it at E3 or at wherever we end up seeing it, Gamescom, whatever. But how are you really going to like have any sort of feeling on what it actually is?
You have to have setups at places like Best Buy where I can walk in and put these on. Of all of them, Oculus Rift and even the Project Morpheus ones, they look very constricted. And
Yeah.
I do have a bit of a claustrophobic issue. I do wear sunglasses all the time, but this is covering your whole face. So even though I know this is a piece of equipment and technology that I do want to have in my house, even though I know I've said everything in the past, but I know that we will get it.
Yeah.
I worry about how I'm going to feel about wearing it. Is it going to be comfortable? Am I going to feel claustrophobic? Things like that. So for me to really know if I'm going to spend, and it's going to be hundreds of dollars on a piece
Yeah.
of technology, I need to take it for a test drive first.
I completely agree. I think that the claustrophobic thing for me is, I mean, it will be a make or break on how it feels on my face, how it feels with headphones on, because we will
Exactly.
use these noise canceling headphones, and ultimately we're going to be in this quote unquote reality world, not knowing anything around us. So anybody who's like freaked out by something like that, I mean, worst case scenario, someone comes in my house. I'm hoping my wife hears it, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like if you ever think about something like that, you're not able to see anything because you got this big headset on. You're not able to hear anything, and it's it's gonna give me a weird feeling. I think like I'm gonna feel a little freaked out and have to like check my surroundings in between games or in between whatever
Right.
levels, checkpoints, whatever the case may be.
Right. I know that this is something my husband will want to buy because he is a technology junkie. But for me, I don't like being scared. I don't like to play scary games.
Yeah,
So I don't see myself picking up any type of scary game like that. Once these other companies get into using this technology in their games, that's when I'll be able to really play it. But I'm not going to be playing any of these terrifying games. And I don't see myself playing any type of shooter with this virtual reality either. I feel like I don't know. I don't know what type of game I'm going to really be able to play. Maybe puzzle games where I can look around and see, but I will not be going into scary haunted houses or asylums and walking around looking for stuff.
yeah. Like a Saw remake, I would not do it.
No.
A a jump scare type thing like PT or Five Nights at Freddy's, I would not be doing it.
No.
The VR for me is an intriguing idea when it comes to sports games, because so many sports games, like whenever they put you in like the shoes of the quarterback, or like the create your own player for like hockey or whatever, if you could go into a VR and be like looking around
Oh yeah,
as
that's
you
what I'm
would if you
talking
were the
about.
quarterback, the running back, the whatever, and like you could see your holes, or like you can be looking one way while you're running the other way, almost so it's like real, as real life as it's going to get.
Right.
Like that would be cool. um the shooter thing for me, I feel like I just get sick.
Yeah,
I mean,
sometimes even playing off of my television set, if I don't have my settings on properly, it's not a good time for me, and I have to go in and adjust it every time I start playing a new shooter game. I have to make sure all my levels and I'm not moving around too quickly because it, you know.
Well,
gets
right,
kinda
and that's
big.
the thing for me with Call of Duty. It's such a Twitch shooter that I have my sensitivity so high that if I had a VR headset on, I would be sick.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be doing any 360 no scopes because I would be throwing up in my shoes.
right. Why wouldn't you have your shoes on?
I I, I play games in a dungeon.
But
Shoes are
why
required.
would you have your shoes? I thought you said in your shoes, not on your shoes.
Oh no, on my shoes.
Okay. And you still don't have your shoes on, so that's
What? No, I just showing you I have my shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
As you held them up. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, held one of them up. I had half of my shoe on.
Confusing. I'm confused.
The other part of Oculus and Morpheus and those other type of games that I want to get your take on are the sim games. The truck driver simulator, goat simulator,
I think any of the driving games would be pretty cool.
office working
No,
simulator.
I'm not going to play your office game. I'm not going to kick around a goat. I'm not going to play Goat
Oh.
Simulator. I'm not going to play Going to Jail Simulator. Like, I'm not into any of that stuff. I don't think that that's productive for playing video games. But I do think if you're driving something, as long as it keeps you from puking your guts out, I think that would be really fun to play with some kind of virtual reality headset.
So you're gonna buy Forza VR? Is
I don't know.
that what you're telling me?
That place goes really fast, that game. Like, you are driving quickly. I did play Forza. I don't remember which one. I own it on my Xbox One due to pressure.
Five. Five.
I enjoyed playing that. I did enjoy playing the newest Battlefield, driving around in that better because I'm kind of good at that.
You're saying just like the heist version of it or whatever, but you wouldn't.
Right.
That's the thing. You wouldn't want to have the headset on for the rest of the shooting part. You would just want the headset on for driving.
To drive.
Yeah,
I like to drive cars.
I think if they did like a, this could sound really redneck of me. If they did a NASCAR simulator,
That would be, I think that would be so fun.
even if you had to be like as you went into the pits, you got to be part of the pit crew and you got to like see, and they match it up with the Connect where like you could like, you know, like
That
take
would
off
be
the
pretty
tires and stuff.
awesome.
That'd be really cool.
But they don't do that in NASCAR.
Yeah, and I don't think they will come out with another NASCAR game just because they have all those other racing games. They just
Right.
throw NASCARs
Like
in the
Mario
racing games.
Kart.
Right. Don't think they have pit stops in Mario Kart. Although I could be wrong. It's been a while since I played it. Okay, we can move on. Let's shift gears slightly. Still talking about E3 kind of, but we'll move over to the Xbox One. So recently Phil Spencer came out and he said that if there's a certain game that you like, a certain genre, a certain whatever, like these JRPGs, which are role-playing games,
Like
He basi-
Japanese role-playing games.
Japanese role-playing
specifically.
games,
Okay.
turn-based role-playing games. He basically said, just keep asking. And
So nag him to death, and then
Ye-
maybe you can have that.
yeah, that's kind of the feeling that I
Phil.
get from it. It's like, well, if we haven't put it out yet and you bug us enough, we might just do it. And like, is that an acceptable answer? Or is he just being coy and he's not sharing what they actually have in store?
I don't know. That's kind of strange. I don't know. Why would you want to be nagged about something?
Right? Like,
If you have to say it out loud, please keep nagging me about this. Is it because you don't want to forget about it? Because obviously people are making enough noise about one thing to have your attention.
right. It's not like it's the vocal minority that's coming up and saying that they want JRPGs.
Right.
A lot of people like the JRPG genre, myself included. But him coming out and just being like, yeah, if you just, keep nagging us about it, we'll go ahead and throw something together. I don't know how I feel. I feel so torn. Like, I wish you would just say like, yeah, something is going to come out in the future and then leave it at that.
Or hey, if you guys start some kind
Kickstarter
of
or something.
not a Kickstarter, but like I don't know, if we get certain number of emails that say you want this, hey, here's the number you have to hit. Somebody
Or,
make
like,
a petition. Yeah. Here, give me 250,000 signatures and we'll make it a JRPG. But instead, I feel like it's almost like blowing it off. Like, oh, yeah, just keep in touch about it. Have a great day, guys.
That's really how it sounds to me.
Of course
And
it does.
I don't think that's what he was going for, but
Phil
that's
doesn't
like,
know how to talk a lot.
it's like the
Sometimes he
perception.
forgets how to communicate because he does it wrong.
Oh, shots fired.
You already know how I feel about Phil Spencer.
You like him, and
No.
he's your favorite.
We're not friends.
Oh,
In real life, we wouldn't be friends because he just infuriates me sometimes.
sorry, Phil.
I'm not sorry, Phil.
He and I are on a first name basis, though. He and I are friends.
You and the boss of Xbox.
Yeah, totally.
All right, tell him I'd like a JRPG tomorrow. And no
I'd
more
like a
nonsense.
JOB tomorrow.
That'd be okay. I'll take a job too, Phil. I'll help you speak. How about that? I will help you
Oh.
communicate with people.
Look at that.
He
You
doesn't
got
need to
your-
be doing his own Twitter either. He could get someone else to do his Twitter
He might.
because he
He might.
writes things that are just ridiculous on his Twitter.
Maybe that's not him. Maybe it's someone else.
It's him.
On his Twitter.
It's him.
All right. If you say so, I'm not gonna fight you.
No.
It's fine.
Okay.
1v1 in real life. Let's go.
Let's go. We'll videotape it.
No, we will not.
Yes, we will.
Moving on to some mobile games, because I know how much you love using that phone of yours.
I love my phone.
I know. We're gonna talk about some mobile games.
All right.
All your mobile games that you loved so much from Sega
Sega. Like
are
Super
being
Monkey Ball?
removed, and by all of them I mean
No.
19 mobile games
That's
are
a
being.
lot.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
All of the I shouldn't say all. Like, is it about 7 Super Monkey Ball
No,
games?
that's Super Monkey Ball. I love that game. I don't even know
Altered
what.
Beast, Echo the Dolphin, Golden Axe 1, 2, and 3. All of these games being removed.
That's unfortunate. Did they say why?
They said that they're going to remove games that no longer meet its standards.
So maybe they just can't update them and they're kind of broken.
I would guess it's probably something along that list. But how can you remove those great games like
Super Monkey Ball.
Echo the Dolphin?
I feel like Super Monkey Ball is like one of the first games I ever got.
And now it's gone forever. I mean,
Sad.
on your phone.
I don't
You
even
can't
think I have it
download it on your
anymore.
phone. So, is this
No,
relevant at
No.
all?
no.
Do we care about
I still
Sega's
have
mobile
Candy.
division?
Candy
It's-
Soda Crush.
Is Sega even a thing anymore? Like,
How do you play Sega? Well, Sonic.
Sega.
I
Yeah,
know
like, I
that's-
don't-
Every time I hear the word Sega, that's Sega. It goes in my head.
It's got to be, and then it's got to be followed by the Sonic the Hedgehog theme
That's
song.
right.
Right?
No,
I mean, that's it.
Yeah, I feel like any type of old game, you stop supporting. So, as far as mobile would go, you would remove it from your store anyway. So it only makes sense that they would do that,
Yeah, for sure.
especially if they can't support it anymore. Like, what I'm
I
trying
don't even
to
know if
say.
it's a support. I think it's just like this isn't a standard in this day and age. So
Yeah, like we're not making a good $1 billion in microtransactions, so it's not worth it anymore.
you can play the first level of Sonic the Hedgehog, but if you want to play the second level, you need to pay $1.99.
99 cents.
Oh, sorry.
That's what I would do. 99 cents.
And then people would do it
I would do it.
because they love Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, or get 3 levels for $1.99.
So
You guys owe me money, Sega.
That's right.
You're
That's right.
welcome.
Start paying royalties to Red Phoenix Gaming, care of Michelle at redphoenixgaming.com
Yeah,
or something of that nature.
I think that's right.
Moving on to another ancient in the gaming industry, Nintendo, skipping E3 again.
Sort of. Just
Sort
the
of,
president.
Yeah.
Because they're doing it online again. It's going to be a digital thing. They are sending peeps to E3, like some
Right.
peeps, but the president, Satoru Iwata, is hanging back. He was sick last year, and this year he's very busy. So
Yeah, he just wants to focus on other areas of the business.
yeah,
And
so he's gonna stay behind, and it'll be done virtually. So we'll be able to see it on, probably E3's website, Twitch, YouTube.
is this a controversy or is this a schmontroversy?
No, I think he's just a busy guy. Like, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like Nintendo is falling apart, and they're grasping and trying to save it in any way they can. Now they have this like full thing of like mobile games that they want to put out. They're scrambling to make a new console in 2 years from now. I think they're in trouble. I mean, personally.
I mean, I would guess that. Well, this is the thing. Like, they've actually made a profit in the last 2 months, I think they said, which is shocking to hear that they weren't making a profit before that. But they have such a huge business that they could have not made a profit. I think it was for like 25 years or 40 years, not been in the not been in the black, and still been fine.
Right.
Still been a business for the next 40 years. But now they're making money, and it's in great deal part of their handheld division, which is their 3DS, Nintendo DS, whatever their current DS it is, XL DS, I don't remember anymore. They have so many of them out. But other than that, which I think is why they're moving to the NX, is that's their main breadwinner, is the handhelds.
Right.
Their Wii U isn't as big as some of the other consoles. It's not as big as either of the other two consoles, and it's just, I think it's just sitting back. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a hardcore gamer console anymore.
Yeah.
Bright side is they did hire Bowser
I love
as
it.
their
Like,
VP of sales.
do you think like once he realized what Nintendo was and Mario was, and he saw his last name, he was like, I have to work for that company.
I think it'd be interesting to ask him if that was the idea. Just because,
Doug Bowser.
just because of the last name, but I guess he's a money guy, sales guy, so we'll see what happens.
That's so cool. All of the jokes that could be made.
And they will be made,
Totally.
for sure. Let's move on to some Borderlands because we love it so very, very, very much.
Yeah. I love Borderlands, except I would like some more games.
Well, you're in luck.
Not
Borderlands
games.
has a new IP.
Guns. I want more guns.
Oh, you said games.
I know,
though.
I apologize. I meant guns.
So
but Battleborn, I know exactly what you're talking about.
it was actually a really good transition.
Apologize.
You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have went back on yourself.
My bad.
But yes, so Battleborn is coming to E3. They say it's coming in a big way. Do you think that this is going to be like a precursor showing of what Borderlands 3 is going to look like?
I hope not.
Wow, you hope not.
No, I don't want that to have anything to do with my game. I feel like they're two totally separate games.
Right, but visually, I mean, it still kind of looks like a cell shady-esque type thing. Visually, are you going to be okay if they look close to the same, even if it's just Borderlands with a fresh coat of paint?
No, I don't know. I'm not going to be okay with that.
Wow.
Borderlands is Borderlands. You can't take something else and call it a different name and make it look like Borderlands. That would be
you
like
can.
That would be like Epic Games coming out with another game that looks exactly like Gears of War.
It did. It was called Gears of War Judgment.
That's the same game.
So bitter. Well, the video that it shows online of this Battleborn game, it looks a lot. It's like the same kind of feel as Borderlands, slightly different
See, I don't agree.
color wise.
I know that there are similarities in what they have, but to me, this looks like, instead of really playing, I don't know. I guess I gotta see it like some live gameplay, but to me it looks like toys more
Yeah.
than like a comic book thing. So that's a similarity there, but I want to see some real gameplay, and then I can make a really positive assessment on what I think of it is.
So to me, yeah, I see what you're saying. I still think that it has aspects of Borderlands in it. It's got that kind of cartoony look to it, like you were saying, but they also have like it just reminds me so much of Borderlands with everything, other than the fact that there's like a PvP aspect to it. You know what? It's almost like a cross between Borderlands and the new Blizzard game coming out, which is Overwatch, I believe, where it's like I said, a cartoony type PvP or PvE or whatever,
I
kind of
mean,
a cool looking thing.
I mean, I don't know. We'll probably play it. Like, I don't know what else.
Probably play it.
It's probably gonna happen. I mean, anything that they put out, Gearbox, I love, because all they put out is Borderlands and
Yeah.
more Borderlands and collections of Borderlands. So, I mean, if they're similar gameplay, I will probably buy it.
I mean, yeah, it says that they're gonna have some sort of like MOBA-esque features to it, which is gonna be concerning to me because we've never really played a MOBA.
I don't know what a MOBA is.
You don't know what a MOBA is?
Not a clue.
Massive Online Battle Arena, I believe. That's what it
Okay.
stands for. So it's like a PvP, but they have like minions in it, and I don't know. It's kind of a cool thing.
Is it co-op? That's all I care about anymore.
Well, it's like five on five. It's like only it's not a first person shooter.
So there's no like storyline. I don't know. We have to see. I have to watch it. E3 is coming so soon, and
Yes.
like it's all I can think about right now. So you know what? I'm not gonna make any
Rash decisions.
irrational comments, and I'm going to just wait until I can see the actual gameplay at E3. And P.S. Gearbox, can I get a decent gun for Borderlands, please and thank you? Because I'm really upset.
Well, while we're talking about Borderlands, did you see this recent patch? I don't know if you noticed it or not, but while I was playing the other night, I was switching through my guns, and all of a sudden, there was a light that kept flashing a different color. And on the front of my
Stop it.
yeah, on the front of your thing, depending on the elemental damage of your gun,
Stop it.
it changes the color. So it's orange for fire, it's yellow for explosion, purple for slag, and it goes through and cycles through your thing.
You're lying.
I swear to you. We'll go on
We
and
have
I'll show
to.
you.
We have to. I need to see this. Get out. So my sensor pad on my PlayStation 4 controller is going to change depending on the weapon I use.
The light bar, depending on the elemental damage, is going to change.
This is exciting. I know
Aren't
it's
you
not that big a
stoked?
deal, but I'm really excited about that.
I feel like they put these little things in just to like tickle our fancy.
It's true. I mean, when we go into play Destiny and we're in a dark room, our ghost lights up the room, but my PlayStation controller also lights up. I
Yup.
love it. Like that gets me more involved. PlayStation
Yes.
is doing it right.
You know who's doing it wrong?
Phil Spencer.
The Kinect.
It's the same thing.
Well, I mean, technically they're not,
It-
but it's
it
okay.
Is. It is. It is.
Your boy Spencer came out and said that the Kinect is not abandoned.
Okay.
My question for you is, should it be?
I don't think so. I yell at my PlayStation and tell it what to do, and if I didn't have my Kinect, I couldn't do that. I also have the ability to Skype my family who lives across the country on my Kinect, which I do prefer to do, on my television. So when I do that, I like it better. And sometimes I let Jillian Michaels kick my butt, and I do that through my Kinect. So
I mean, I get that, and you're using it exactly for what it's for. Mine is sitting in a closet right now. And I'm never going to use it for games. I do like it for its voice capabilities, but they can just put a microphone on the Xbox if that's the case.
here's the problem between you and I, though. I use my Kinect. I use my Xbox every single day.
Yes, because you use it as an entertainment
That's correct. You do
studio.
not. Is
Right.
that right? So that's
Right.
why for somebody like me, it makes sense to have somebody like you. That's why I think it's nice that they gave people a cheaper option to buy the Xbox without the Kinect. You save a little bit of money and you get a piece of technology you might not necessarily need. So the fact that I have it, it's hooked into my main television set in my living room. My television is played through my Kinect, so I can give it commands to pause, rewind, mute when I'm doing something else. So for
Right.
me, or anyone like me, I don't think that the Kinect should be abandoned. But I like that you get the option to go out and buy an Xbox One without a Kinect and save about $100.
Right. No, I get that. I'm okay with that. I bought it day one, so I got it no matter what.
Right.
But I don't see the reason for having Connect with gaming. Having Connect as a peripheral with everything externally that you do that's not on a gaming system is fine. If you're going to use it for the things that you use it for, fine. If you're going to use it as a gaming peripheral, it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't.
I like the workout stuff that they do. I do
Hmm.
occasionally pick it up. Um, the one thing with the PlayStation is you cannot buy a PlayStation with it bundled. As far as I know, it's always been a separate piece, that camera.
Yeah.
It is significantly cheaper. It is $40 less to go out and buy the camera for the PlayStation. It's like $60.
Right.
And it is actually a piece of equipment that I do want to have, only because if you have a PlayStation 4, you would know that with the camera in your DualShock 4 controller, you have little dudes that live in there, and you could flick them out of your controller onto your floor and play with them through the camera. And I want that. I want to be able to pop them out of my controller and like throw them around my room.
It's the little things, literally.
It's like a complex that I have. I want to just like push little minions around.
That's fine. Little tweaks to things are fine. I'm okay with little tweaks.
Yeah.
I agree with the price point though. It is significantly
Significant.
cheaper.
When I bought my Xbox 360, Kinect didn't exist. And
Right.
Kinect came out right around Christmas time, and I got it for Christmas. And we got it with Kinectimals, Kinect Animals.
Yes.
And my kid loved it. Like, she played with tigers. She hasn't touched it since. Like, her Kinect is in her room on her Xbox 360.
Right.
If I only had an Xbox 360, the Kinect would not be plugged in.
Right.
But Xbox One is an integral part of my entertainment center.
It's understandable.
So your argument is no. I say no. It is not abandoned. For somebody like me. Somebody like you, absolutely.
I
Someone
think
like
it's
me,
abandoned for games. Can you agree that you don't like it for gaming?
I would never use it for anything other than, I mean, even when I talk to something, it's interrupting me. I
Right.
don't use it to communicate. So the fact that sometimes it does think that I'm talking to it when I'm not, when we say certain words, we have a code word, Durango, when we're playing it, and that means Xbox. Because if you say Xbox or say anything that sounds like Xbox in the middle of a game, your Kinect interrupts you.
Right.
So that is one thing that I don't like about it.
Right. I mean, you could say like cover the left flank, and it was like, what do you want? And you're like, shut up, Xbox. I didn't say Xbox.
Yeah, games have tried to put it in there, and I'm not talking about like games that you're moving in, but games like Call of Duty tried throwing certain things in, and it was just useless, and it didn't understand. And I don't care how many times you calibrate the stupid thing, it doesn't work properly,
Right.
and it's not a piece. I don't want to have that extra thing that I have to worry about. I have my controller, I have to watch, I have to listen, and having a third something that I have to interact with, I don't have time for that. The fact that my DualShock 4 on my PlayStation 4 lights up, that's enough for me. And I only notice it when it does. So anything else, I don't have to interact with it. I don't have to do anything with it. So Xbox it's not necessary for gaming. No, it is necessary for my media center. And sometimes if I want to work out with Jillian Michaels, which isn't often because she's so mean.
Well, I ultimately concur. I guess I'll defer to the master who actually uses their Xbox because mine sits upstairs in front of my wife. So,
Right.
uh, moving over to a little NHL news.
Is this
NHL
NHL number
16.
85? Oh.
What? 85? Is that how old you are? What did you say?
They've made so many. There's so many.
Right now, it's NHL 16. Now, how many they've made
It's like
is a different
8.
story. No, not 8. They've had like.
11.
All right, now you're just being ridiculous.
4.
So NHL 16 is coming out, and they're going to have all of the things that they didn't have in NHL 15,
Oh, thank goodness.
like 6-on-6 online team play, sim until your shift on Be a Pro, and a bunch of other things that they added in later. Either way, these type of games that, like the NHLs, the Maddens, the NBAs, that have something, they have a standard, and then they take a step back for a year, suck terribly, and come back with all of the things that they took out. Are you okay with games doing that? Are you okay with games like,
No.
what would you, I mean, would you prefer a game that just doesn't change? Or like make slight tweaks? I mean, that's what Madden's been to this point, is a game that makes minor tweaks every year. It's basically a roster update. And NHL basically was like, hey, we're going to wipe the slate clean, come out with this next gen game, and boom, here you have it. Oh, it doesn't have half the things that you expected.
If Call of Duty took out kill confirmed out of their next game, I would be upset.
Kill confirm wasn't even a thing.
It wasn't
until
but
like
it
2
is-
games ago.
Right, but it is now. And
3
it was
games.
3 games ago. Actually, 3,
3 games ago.
1, 2,
Black Ops 2.
4.
Black
No,
Ops 2.
Modern Warfare 3.
Hmm.
Modern Warfare 3.
Okay. Okay.
Write that down so you don't forget when you look it up later.
I'm not gonna look it up.
Anyway,
Why did I look it up? But anyway,
if
Kill
they
confirm.
took that away from me, I would be really upset because that is my absolute favorite game mode. And if they took it away from me after having it in for so many times, I would be upset about that.
Right.
But we do go through playing Call of Duty and you don't get the same gun ever. So, I mean, I guess right there, that stuff like that doesn't bother me. But certain things like game modes, am I right? I'm
What are you
right.
talking about?
I'm right. I know I am. It's Modern Warfare 3.
4 games.
Okay. That's what I said. Um, you know, that the
Wow,
game.
you're getting old.
How am I getting old?
I don't know. I just figured I'd throw it out there because
That
you made
is-
me feel like an idiot.
Everybody
Sorry.
write that down. I made him feel like an idiot.
Sorry, go ahead.
So if you know, when we play the next Modern Warfare 3, there probably isn't a single gun that I've played with in the past. So that doesn't change, but other things would upset me, I think. Like the game mode.
I like a game to do that type of thing if it's going to be revolutionary, not if it's going to be a step back.
Absolutely.
And for the last few times when games do that, it turns into a step back, and then they're like, oh no, we have to cover ourselves. Let's just put everything back to the way it was and call it a
An
new
update.
system.
Oh.
Madden does this almost yearly where all of a sudden they drop one piece from last year, then the next year they bring it back out and they're like, oh, this is our new whatever
Check
system.
this out. Yeah.
So like they had like a be a coach mode, and then they dropped it, and they actually made a head coach game, and they're like, wow, this is terrible. So then they put it back in the system as be a coach mode.
I don't know. I really haven't played a lot of Madden. But I feel like all of I played Madden a long time ago.
Yeah.
And
Like 48 years ago.
yeah, and I just picked it back up like last year and I played a little bit of it. And honestly, as someone who went for a very long time not playing it, it was very overwhelming to me because those options were not even a moment in any of the other games
Right.
back then. So it was just I don't know. I have so much trouble playing games that have any type of extra stuff that you have to do. Like Borderlands was very hard for me to adapt to because you have to build the skill tree and you have to pick like a way of how powerful you want to be and which way
Right.
you want to go. And even like upgrading my guns in Call of Duty, that was always super overwhelming to me. And for a very long time, I had to ask, what do you think I should do? And someone else had to tell me, this is what will work best for you. Even my guns, here, try this gun instead because you're not doing well with that one. And I think you like that one. That's how I lived,
Right.
where I had to get, because it was so much for me. And now I just kind of figure it out on my own and I play. And while you still with this new Borderlands that we're playing with the Handsome Jack collection, you sent me a skill tree and I went way out of my comfort zone and I picked a skill tree I never touched. And I am an awesome siren.
And it's all because you listen to me.
I know.
The moral of
So
the story is always listen to Derek.
that's not true. So really, as long as moving forward, if you're going to take something away, as long as it betters the game, I don't have a problem with it.
Right.
But if you're going to take something away that people are going to be really affected by and then just throw it back in the next time, that stinks. And I don't like that. And don't do that.
What she said.
Exactly.
Michelle, esports is becoming a thing.
I know this. They put it on ESPN2.
Have you ever bet on a sporting event?
I did.
Would you ever bet on an e-sporting event?
I'm going to say no.
Why not? If it's a sport,
This is why. The only time I ever bet on something was the Super Bowl. And that was, a very long time ago. I was in Vegas.
she was alive for Super Bowl one, so.
You're on fire today. I'll tell you what.
I'm on fire.
It was a long time ago. I want to say 2001, maybe 2000. And I just for fun made a ridiculous bet because I was in Vegas and I made a ridiculous bet on something like during one of the quarters and I didn't win. I think, and I watch football. I'm a football fan. So Tom Brady sucks. So I don't watch esports. If I did on a regular basis, like I read about esports, I keep up with some of the Call of Duty stuff because those are, those I play Call of Duty, but I'm sure this is going to be something like Dota,
League of Legends, CS:GO. Yeah.
I don't play those games. I don't really watch those games. Maybe if I did, then I'd be like, oh my gosh, let's go up to the casino up here in Canada and let's go bet on them. Then I would. So I guess if you're into it, then sure.
So you're basically saying as soon as it does become streamlined, and as soon as it's on ESPN2 on a consistent basis, you're going to start betting on video games?
If I start watching it, yes.
Do you need like a
Not
seven-step
necessarily.
program set up for you, or you could?
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm not going to run up to Canada and be like, oh my gosh.
Here's all my money. Put it on black.
Put it on this guy right here. He gonna win everything. I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying, like, let's say I got into something. And, like, maybe if Call of Duty came up and this was, like, the $1 million thing, sure, maybe I'd go bet on it, but I'm not really a huge gambler. Like, I'll occasionally play like a scratch off or Powerball, but I don't really bet on stuff like that. But I guess people who are super deep into it would.
Right. No, I tend to agree. I don't think I'd ever bet on esports, not because I don't think that they should be listed as a sport, but I am not a big gambler. I don't bet on football. I don't bet on sports in general.
Yeah,
so.
Totally. And like I said, I was in Vegas and it was just a fluke that I did. And that's the only time I've bet on anything like that. Everything else, I just play the one-armed bandits and I stick $20 in and then I walk away.
The one-armed bandit, she says.
Yeah, like that's what they are. Like the slot machines.
Put it all on red.
That's not how it works. You just got to find
that's
a red,
all
white,
I
and
play.
blue and it's got sevens in it and that's what you do.
In fact, I don't even play. I just let my wife go play because if she plays red and black, she somehow hits it every time. And if I play red and black, the first time I try it, I fail.
Oh, well then you shouldn't go in a casino.
No, absolutely not. H1Z1, Michelle, have you ever heard of the game?
I have.
It's a zombie game for those who don't know. And it's a survival zombie game, we'll call it.
Yeah.
And they had an issue with cheaters.
They had a lot of problems with cheaters.
So they went ahead and banned people, dropped the ban hammer.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
That's what you do when you have lots of cheaters.
But there was an interesting thing that happened after they dropped this ban hammer.
Yes. People were
John-
sorry.
John Smedley came on to Twitter and he said,
He's
"Dear
the
cheaters,"
president. He's the president. Of
he is Daybreak
Games.
president. Comes on Twitter, says, "Dear cheaters who got banned, none of you are emailing me apologizing and admitting it. Thank you. However, you're doing it wrong." Went on to say that if you want him to even consider your apology, you have to make a public YouTube video and basically say something along the lines of not that you're sorry to H1Z1, but you're sorry to the players because it's not about like the business itself. It's more so about how you cheated, and that's, sorry to everyone else.
Yeah, like they're not, they are upset that you cheated on their game, but they're even more upset that you weren't playing honestly and you were affecting other people that you were playing with, and that you have to go through and apologize for being a jerk.
And he actually came out, I think, on a Reddit post and said that there are 30,000 people they have banned. Of that 30,000, 3 people made YouTube videos, and of those 3 people, one of them made their YouTube video become private after everyone saw it, so he's going to get rebanned. But only 3 people got unbanned out of 30,000.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How do you feel about this? Like, is this kind of like the parent whose kid, cheated on a test and they make them stand on a corner with a sign that says "I'm a cheater," or the kid that stole something from a store and the mom makes them stand on a corner with a sign that says "I steal from people"? Like, is this kind of like public shaming?
I think that's exactly what it is. I think it is Smedley's way of saying you're not going to cheat and get away with it. And if you get caught, there should be some sort of consequence. So his consequence is to, if you guys want to just get reinstated, which obviously some people do, the other people don't care, whatever, you have to publicly shame yourself. And
I guess if you want to play the game bad enough, I guess that's your choice to make. Then you can either just not play the game again, or you can make the choice to tell everybody what a jerk you are on the internet.
Yeah, I agree with
I'd
it?
take a pass. I would just not play the game again.
Right. Or like go out and buy another copy or whatever the case may be. I don't think so Borderlands, let's say that Borderlands comes to us, they ban us for something,
It
and
would never happen, but okay.
and they're like, you have to make a public video. Would you make a public video, or would we just stop playing Borderlands?
We'd stop. Would we be able to play the next Borderlands?
Yeah, why not? We didn't cheat in the next one.
Then yes, I wouldn't do it.
I mean, if they have an H1Z2, I'm sure that these people who have previously been banned, they're not going to continuously be banned. So
I don't think I would. Maybe it's because I've played Borderlands so many times. Destiny.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I might do it for Destiny.
I would just say
I'm not a cheater though. It's hard for me. I don't cheat. I don't break rules. I don't do stuff like that. I'm not a jerk. So it's true. I don't do stuff like that. So it doesn't apply to me. It's hard for me to put myself in someone else's shoes when that's just not who I am. So would I apologize? Well, I would never be in that situation. So it's hard for me to say. I would say no, but I wouldn't put myself in that position. That's
I
all
tend to
have
agree,
say
but
about
or
that.
I actually don't agree. I would just say I would just wouldn't.
You wouldn't
If
play
I
it.
got caught doing something, I just wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
It's bad enough you get caught. I wouldn't want to make myself look like a jerk.
Right.
Last thing I wanted to talk about, Lizard
Oh,
Squad.
Lizard Squad.
They're back in the news.
You guys, it's been so long, Lizard Squad.
They found a 17-year-old Canadian teen who pled guilty to 23 charges of online harassment,
Good Lord.
which was harassment and or swatting.
Wow. What was his parents doing? That's the first. Anytime a child, anyone under the age of 18 gets in trouble for something, the first thing I think of is like, where were your mom and dad? Who was watching you? Why do you have that much
you hope
technology?
at 17 years old, the kids. I mean, he's almost a senior in high school.
I was still living at home. under
Yeah,
my
living at
parents-
home,
my
but
mo-
like
you know,
you weren't rebellious. You weren't
I was,
doing your
but I
own
wasn't.
thing.
I wasn't harassing people online and swatting people. Were
Everybody has
you?
their own.
That was last
thing.
year for you. Were you doing that?
I was not. It could have been last year. I have 2 kids. Come on now. No, but like when I was 18, I did stupid things. I didn't do stupid things to other people. I just did stupid things by myself.
But nothing
Like-
like this.
Like trying to do free running, which was a mistake,
I don't
or
even know what
trying
that
to,
What
or
is-
trying to learn how to play an instrument,
That's
which
not
had never happened.
stupid.
It's pretty stupid.
This kid is stupid.
It's right. He is.
Is he in
absolutely.
trouble? I hope he's in a lot of trouble. What are
He
these?
pled guilty to 23 charges of harassment. I'm assuming he's in some sort of trouble here.
I hope so, because I don't. I mean, I've said this 100 times. I have no tolerance for this stuff.
I don't know. I don't know why kids these days think that that's an acceptable anything. But
Entertainment, it's ridiculous.
he went ahead and pled guilty. So he's got a nice little rap sheet now that hopefully won't ruin the rest of his life, I suppose. Oh well.
Ridiculous.
Ending on a good note. All right, that's all I got. That was it.
Good work.
You got anything else for us?
No, we're good.
Perfect. All right. Well, like, comment, subscribe. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. We're on YouTube, website, and check us out at Radio Free Roanoke.
Yep.
Hashtag bye.
Hashtag bye.